Hi, I'm Troy Smith from the History Department, where I specialize, among other things, in Native American studies. And I'm here today to direct your attention to the fact that this is Native American Heritage Month, which I bet a lot of you didn't know, not widely publicized, but it's a fact. And I just wanted to let you know about that and to emphasize how important it is that we do acknowledge those people who were the first Americans. In fact, we should acknowledge that. I will acknowledge that right now, as we're talking on Tennessee Tech campus in the Upper Cumberland area of Middle Tennessee, that this is land that was once the land of the Yuchi tribe, and that later became the territory of the Cherokees, and that other tribes such as the Muskogee Creek, the Chickasaw, and the Shawnee at various times occupied or were active in. And it's important to acknowledge that, not just the role that Native American people have played in the past, but also the fact that they have not vanished. They are still among us. They are still going strong. There are many, many Native American nations within the United States and Canada and other parts of the Americas that have maintained their identity, that have maintained their history and their culture and their languages, and have persevered despite the many hardships that have been sent their way over the centuries, really. Now, it's important to acknowledge that. It's also important to respect Native American people and Native American culture, and I think that we all want to do that. But it's necessary that we be aware, since there are Native American people not only in the United States of America, but in Putnam County, Cookeville, Tennessee, on the campus of Tennessee Tech, students, staff, that we respect those people's culture in a way that is respectful to them. And in order to do that, I think that it's necessary to seek out the opinions of Native American people. Now, you may have never met a Native American, or maybe you have and you didn't know it, but it's not hard. It's not hard to find members of the Native community, even close by here on Cookeville. So try to meet those folks. There are at least a couple of individuals on campus who are on staff at Tennessee Tech that are going to be doing things in the month of November to direct attention to the culture, history, and heritage of their people. So watch for announcements about that. In the future, when we are no longer in the midst of a pandemic and we're able to bring people in and have large gatherings, watch for such gatherings with Native American themes, and try to meet people, try to interact with people, and ask them. Ask them their opinion about things. Ask them how they would like to be respected. And continue to think about this stuff, not just in the month of November, but all year long. All year long. Make that realization that here we are. We are on Yuchi land. We are on Cherokee land. And wherever you go in this country, you are on land that was inhabited by members of these groups. Sometimes still may be, but a lot of them, like the Cherokees and the Yuchi, have been or were forcibly removed to other areas. So be aware of that. try to learn more. Take advantage of any opportunity that you have to learn about Native American culture, because there is so very much that we still can learn from that culture and that way of thinking and that approach to life. And be aware. Be aware that there are issues affecting Native American people ongoing still today, that non-Native people who become aware of those issues can have a hand in offering up their voices as well in support of Native culture and of Native sovereignty. All right, well, bear all that in mind and feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about the history of that sort of thing, but also find out who some of the Native American people are around you and talk to them. That's more important. That's much more important. That's where you get the real and true perspective, and you will discover that maybe a lot of things aren't the way that you thought they were. Maybe a lot of things have happened that you weren't aware of. And more importantly, you'll discover just a depth and a richness in a culture that still not only exists and has persevered, but continues to thrive and continues to move forward as part of the part of all of us, really. We are all very much indebted to the native peoples who were here and the native peoples who still are here.